My name is Sergeant First Class Brown. I'm with the 807th Medical Command, and I'm going to give you an unclassified instructional brief on the simple packet process. So, as soon as you open up the simple packet, you'll go to the first slide, and that's the funding slide. So you'll know that you're in the correct packet if this slide is number 1. And you can see that because it says very important, read first. All right? So go ahead and read that because we had some problems with the last packets and some funding issues with MIPers and things that were not done correctly. So please go in and read this slide first. Moving on to the next slide. This is just the cover sheet. Let you know that, again, that you're in the simple packet. So good job, congratulations. Next slide. We're going to talk about the simple procedures. So go ahead and right-click on it, open, and then you can read through here. This gives you a basic breakdown of the timeline that we need the packets into the 807. So 120 days is the goal. We won't shoot you or we won't mess you up if you're 90 days, but please do 180 days is the standard. So at 120 days, you should have an 80% complete packet. Next slide. So let's close out of that. We'll go into the next one. Now this is the routing paperwork. So this is actually the timestamp from the unit to battalion to brigade to the 807th. So when you go in there, you yourself, if you're filling out the simple packet, fill in your information, your name, your position, your phone, and email. Now when you're done with this is key, then go over to where it says save. Now don't save as, just hit save and then X out. Okay, so let's move on to the next paperwork. Now we had in the past we had some difficulties with people getting Adobe Acrobat 10 installed. So this is just going to step-by-step walk you through how to get Adobe Acrobat 10 installed on your computer. If you already have it, great. Let's skip this step. Next slide. So you should be looking at the simple packet instructions. Go ahead, right-click, open it up, and then this will walk you through step by step, okay, on how to fill out the process. Again, if you go down and you get in there, you need to make sure that you fill it out, you fill out the forms, and you save. Okay, when you're ready to save the entire simple packet, you're going to hit Save As, and then you're going to go in and you're going to title it the unit, the dates of training, and the year. Okay, and then you're going to save that, Save As, and then that gets uploaded into either your battalion or brigade's share drive. Brigade will take it from there, they'll review it, and then they'll place it on the 807th share drive. So let's get out of the instructions. Let's go to the next slide. So right here, right-click open. This is your funding estimate for your event. So key things on this one, this is mainly for your GPC card holders. Okay, this at the 807th level, this helps us kind of get an overview of what you're spending for that event. So just make sure that you go in, you do the PAX count, the personnel count, the location of the training, and the dates of the training. So that way, when I pull this, it matches up to your actual packet in your bus or transportation funding requests. So when you get down there, make sure you sign it. Your approving official, i.e. your commander, your supply sergeant, whoever is designated as your approving official, make sure they digitally sign it, save, and then X out. All right, moving on to our meat and potatoes. All right, so you're looking at your group annex, your group order annex. So again, if you right-click and open, and if you don't see the attachment box on the left, go ahead and hit the paperclip icon, and we'll pull it from there. So when you go into this, you're going to have it's an Excel sheet that's embedded into the file. So go ahead and double-click on that. This is for your roster, okay, your manifest. Make sure you fill this out as accurately as possible. Again, at this point, 120 days out, we're looking for the 80% solution. So fill that out, save, and then X out. And that'll save in the actual simple packet itself. So that's all you need in that one. Okay, so now you guys should be looking at the MIPR slide. Again, notice that on this, the G8 does not accept any 448s except for the meals. Okay, again, the 448 is for meals only. So when you right click, you open up, you should see the attachments on the left. The 448 for MIPRs, or excuse me, the 448 for meals only. So go ahead, open that up real quick. And as you get in here, fill out the appropriate blocks. Block number 7 is the installation that is going to receive the funds for your MIPR, for your meals. And then scroll down. In item number 1, you're going to talk about the actual unit that's requesting this support. So make sure your DODACs, your URCs, and everything on that is filled out correctly, and that will save us time in the future. So again, going down through, make sure that your cost, your PAX count, your cost estimates are as close to the actual number as possible. So that way, again, when I take this down to the G4, or the G3 representative takes this down to the G4 for vetting and processing, they don't have any issues and they can send it straight to USARC to get funded. Now again, this is another reason why we need these simple packets 120 days out, because when it goes to USARC, their requirement is 90 days. So give us a little leeway so that we can get this processed as quickly as possible and hopefully have first time goes. You'll note at the bottom of the 448, blocks 15, 16, and 17, okay? Leave those blank. This is for the USARC approving official only. I say again, leave blocks 15, 16, and 17 blank. This is for the USARC approval only. So once you're done entering in your information, go ahead back, hit save, and then X out. So you'll also notice that I put in 2 examples in this of the actual support agreements. So if you guys need additional funding for, let's say, barracks, range, admin facilities, anything else that normally would have required a MIPR, you're going to get a cost estimate breakdown from the installation. It's kind of like the cost estimate from the ITO, but this is more specific, more detailed, and it just goes down and breaks it further into what the G8 is actually paying for. So when it comes back to audit readiness, we have something valid and we can put against the funds that they've allocated and issued out. So when you're looking at this support agreement, again, it has the DODAC, it has the GFEBs, whether or not they accept MIPRs directly, or GFEBs, WBS accounting systems. So this memo has to have the point of contact for the installation. It also has to have the price, again, the price breakdown per event and the total cost. As soon as I have all that information, we're good to go, and then the G3 representative will take that, upload it to the G8's tracker, walk it down, hand it to the G8 for processing. No other 448s will be accepted. Okay? Only for meals will the 448 be accepted. That's very clear and cut guidance from the G8. Let's X out. And then let's X out of the MIPR slide. Going on to the next slide is our bread and butter, the transportation slides. Okay? Now on this one I've uploaded a lot more examples and requests. Open up that transportation slide. So as you see on the left, I've uploaded a lot of examples and a lot of forms. So when you take a look, don't get intimidated. We're going to walk through these step by step. So the first form is the most common form, and this is the Fort McCoy Form 390. So go ahead and double click on that. And then if you get an error or something that says enable all features, go ahead and click on that, and you can fill out all the fillable text. Key things on this: number of packs, training dates, to and from, okay? Your loading point and your destination point. Those are key. So your packs count, just remember that the buses come in 50 and 55 pack buses. So if you're over that limit, you know automatically you're going to need 2 buses. Fair enough? Good. So again, just scroll down there and fill it out as best you can. Now when you go down there, make sure that you check the block if you're transporting weapons with you or if they're coming separate. And then any special requirements within that form. And then always put in a good unit point of contact. So usually what happens is if they come up and the G3 has any questions and this is drop dead line, we're going to call that POC and we're going to get information as quick as we can. So, so fill out all that information. Again, once you have this in there, the requester's signature, go ahead and digitally sign that, click Save, exit out. Okay. Now we're going to go up to the actual, I think it's the 325th HHC approved. So double click on that. Now as you scroll down, this is an actual approved bus request with an approved line of accounting signed by the G8 representative. And this gets sent back to the unit, to the brigade, all the POCs that are involved in this action. And you'll notice also that in this example, scroll down, it actually has the cost estimate from the ITO included in the email format that was sent to me. So go ahead, let's go back out. All right, the next one that we want to take a look at is the HJB form. This is the Joint Base Lewis-McCord form. Now this form is used for the Joint Base Lewis-McCord ITO. Now 2nd Med and the West Coast soldiers are the ones that deal primarily with this form. Now the changes have been made. The Joint Base Lewis-McCord also wants a funding memo in place, which is fine. You'll see that in a later slide. So again, we're going to go through the same process: type of travel, PAX count, POCs, training dates, destination, and point of debarkation. So again, fill out this form as best as you can. Don't forget to sign it at the bottom. So now I'll show you guys what an approved Joint Base Lewis-McCord funding memo and their transportation request will look like. So let's open that one up. So you scroll down, you'll see actually what I've included in this. So number 2 alpha, that's your line of accounting and your cost. And that is what JBLM requires to get processed. So you scroll down, keep going. So you're on page 2, this is the passenger routing slip. So what happens with this one is I will actually take the line of accounting, I'll make a duplicate. So in case there's multiple travel dates or multiple units using the same LOA, I will break it down into the funding so it's easier for the G3 and the unit to track. So and again, also I've included the ITO cost breakdown when I send this back to the unit, or the G3 representative send this back to the unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and X out of that one. Now let's say that you guys have a transportation request that is does not merit, you have too many PAX count for individual travel, but you have less than the 60 to actually charter a flight. So this is where we go into the DD 1610, the group travel request. Now when you go into this, you're going to have some information. So block 2, where it says name, you're going to put C remarks. Okay, so since this is a group travel, no individual will be in block 2. So go back down, you'll fill in some information. The quote comes from SATO themselves, and they will help you out with the cost breakdown. So the key in this one is block 15. So you'll get the total PAX count of personnel going, fill in their name and full social, and you're going to put that in block 15. Now when you get the information from ITO in block 14, just go ahead and put that in, and we can create the LOA from that. So as you come down the sheet, do not fill in block 18, 19, 20 or 21 or 22. So you're looking at block 17 as your last block that you have to fill out, and that's just the requester's signature block. Okay, So let's go ahead and save that and then X out. Now let's go into a document that a unit sent to us. So this is the example of a 1610-228 cache advon. Okay? So again, you're going to fill out the appropriate blocks. You're going to put in where the unit's going, where they're getting picked up with, the total number of days of training, cost breakdowns, and again, if you keep going, block 16, continuation onto the next sheet, and that has all the personnel names and socials on there. So let's go ahead and X out of that. And let's go into the actual 228th advon approved 1610. And again, so scroll down. Let's go to, bottom of the first page. And you'll see where we've taken this, we've taken it to the G8, we've got the line of accounting in block 19. Block 19 has the LOA, and then the G8 has signed and approved this. So again, the group 1610s, they sound intimidating, but as long as you get in there and you do the basic information, contact and verify with SATO for the cost estimates, you should be good to go. And this is an easy process, and it only uses one line of accounting. So let's click out of that. So this is done for the transportation slides. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free, shoot me up on an email. So let's X out of that. Let's go to the next slide. So now we're going to move into the G4 forms. This first slide is just a breakdown of pretty much the 9 forms that you're going to use for your outbound and inbound. So you can open up, take a look. Now if you want to, you can save it to the attachment, the paperclip on the left. Go ahead and click on that. And then if you're going to add documents, you're going to go to the Add. You're going to click that, and then you can find your file, and you can upload it as appropriate. So this is just going to tell you, this slide tells you about the next 2 slides that have the actual 9 forms that are fillable and ready to go. So let's go to the next. So you should be looking at your outbound equipment forms. Now this folder has 9 forms embedded in it. So let's right click on that, open it up, and so each form you fill out as appropriate. Pretty much, let's see, your 1750s, your packing lists, your 1149s, 156Rs, and your, I think it's the G44 form for Miss Geisler. So again, make sure those are filled out correctly by your 4 section and are good to go. So once you open it up, you can right click on those, open it up, fill out the appropriate information. When you're done, again, hit save and then X. Okay, so again, there's 2 slides. One's for outbound, one's for inbound. You're going to ship your stuff, your equipment out. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate forms to ship that equipment back to the home station. So again, we're looking at the same forms for the inbound as the outbound, and they should match. And again, fill them out, hit save, and you're good to go for the 4 section. So let's go ahead and X out of those. Right click or go to the next form. Okay, so this form is the Fort Hood mobilization sheets and forms. If you're a mobilizing unit, go ahead and step by step you can work through these as appropriate. The big deal with this one is that units are usually working directly with Fort Hood and their MOB L&Os. So as a 3, we have oversight, but again, the unit and brigade are working directly with Fort Hood and the 807th MOB L&Os. So let's go ahead and click out of that, X out. And then finally, the last folder on here is something that the 330th has designed for their internal tracking purposes. So this is one slide, one snapshot where the 330th has additional documents, additional requirements for their downtrace, and they go in and they update this as appropriate. Now, it's very convenient for the 330th, and they've had great success putting all their documents there and creating it in a way that their down traces can use it and it's user-friendly. So I would suggest that the different brigades take this slide, make their own, and we can update it into future updates and requests for the improved simple packet. So again, take a look, play through the documents, let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is a pretty basic process. It's simple in a sense that you can go through and you can work step by step. If you get into any problem areas or questions or concerns, you can always feel free to contact the G3 staff, myself, Captain Bowe, Captain Hollis, or Major Duncan, and we'll be happy to walk you through the steps and make sure that any questions are answered as appropriate. So again, I hope this has been informative, and you take this and share it with not only your brigades, your battalions, but your units and soldiers that you would like to get involved in this process. Thanks again.